What is up, everybody? This is Mark the Mike, and this is another The Gamer Rage podcast by Red Cyclo Inc. I am Mark the Mike. I'm joined by Tenacious T, Tot Screw Up, the man with many names.
I do have a lot of names, but you know what I mean? Like the whole point behind that is as time goes by, you know what I mean? People try to make fun of me and diss me on certain things, so I kind of flip it into my advantage, and that's how Tatsuki Wap ended up
There you
happening.
go.
And yeah, and that's my alias on the Popcorny podcast, which everybody can go and check that out on Spotify and SoundCloud and stuff.
Yep.
The Merc with the Mic is part of that cast, and it is an avid COC picker and drafter, which pretty soon we will be attacking each other very soon. So stay tuned to that. Go and check out the Popcorny 1975 Instagram page while
Yep.
you're at it.
All right. We are back at Gamer Rage. Sorry for the long wait, but we are back. And today's topic will be Power Ranger video games. So we kind of gave a little love to the Morphin cast. It's shout them out because that's our longest running cast between us two.
Which last month in March was what, 7 years?
Yes.
7 years strong for the Morphin Cast, our longest running podcast, my first podcast I was ever on.
Yes. And again, we still love it. We're still going through the Sentai for Jungle Fury. We have a little delay with that, so basically we'll be back next week. We will have a new episode, so probably be within next week, later next week, that you'll get to listen to that. But first, like always, we go to the challenge.
The challenge, which
So
everybody knows out there that's been listening. I'm horrible when it comes to the challenges.
yeah.
I definitely am, but I do put a valiant effort in, and you know what I mean. I try.
Mhm.
I don't have enough time in this world. I wish I did, but I don't.
So my challenge to you was Lego Batman 3. Your challenge to me was Dead Rising. I picked the first one. Um, so Lego Batman 3, you got to play a little bit of it, but you didn't get to really get
Well,
a hand on it. So
granted, I finally got the game when you guys came out for like my pre-birthday celebration, and we were at Game On. Always shouts out to them, which outro. You hear that on every podcast that we do, but we were definitely drunk inside there, and you handed it to me like, huh, you couldn't find it, I'm like, oh fuck, now I have to put it in,
yeah,
and then so like I put it on my PlayStation 4. I was gonna put it on the PlayStation 5. I just didn't know if it was backwards compatible that far.
yeah.
I think it is though, right?
No, 100%
PlayStation
is.
5.
Yeah, it's
But
backwards.
it goes to the PS2, right?
Um,
PlayStation 5.
yeah,
So, but playing the game, I mean, if anybody out there knows anything about like the Lego universe and stuff like that, it is that. You know what I mean? Like it's, I can say that I put a couple good days in, but also, ladies and gentlemen, Hogwarts Legacy just came out, and for every Harry Potter fan out there and into the Wizarding world and stuff like that, like once that game came out, I'm sorry, my whole focus was on that. So I apologize for not completing the game, but I did put some time in on it, and like I was saying, you know what you're getting when you're looking at Lego. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like it's the humor. It's kind of the adult humor that I actually feel like it ain't really for kids. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean?
yeah. It has the humor, which is great. So Lego Batman 3 was a different take on Batman. So if you go from Part two was the first original story with a Lego game. So usually they will take shit from from like the actual thing that it's about. So like Lord of the Rings, it would be the exact three movies. The Lego Batman
Yeah.
games was different. It kind of had its own plot. It had its own like storyline and stuff like that. When it came to the other ones like Star Wars and stuff like that, they were all like based on the movies itself. Like they actually went like
Um, I was looking into it. There's like over 25 different Lego games.
oh, Lego is crazy because you have the whole Star Wars series, which is Lego Star
I
Wars.
never even knew that it was like that extensive. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? I really didn't.
they did a lot too. They did Lego Harry Potter. They did Lego Lord of the Rings. They did Hobbit. They did the Lego Marvel games 1 and 2. They did Batman. There's 3 parts of Batman. There's Pirates of the Caribbean. There's the Lego movies. There's Jurassic Park. There's Incredibles. Yeah, they
I
have.
think I was reading something. The number one worst ranked series, it was the Indiana Jones ones.
It wasn't that they weren't that great. But if you like, if you kind of want to just go through the movies without having to watch the movies, they were a good like take on it. They kind of go
Yeah.
through the movie, but they give you their sense of humor to it.
But like, so when I was playing for the time that I was playing the game, I looked into the the center book, and I looked online a little bit, and the amount of characters in the DC
Yeah,
universe that is on this game was like, it's like, yo, I really want to finish the game. You know what I mean? It was fun. It was quirky in its own sense. Like the graphics were actually pretty dope for a PS3 game. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Um, you know, I wanted to from what I was reading also, because like I kind of like I didn't get too far into it. Like I played it for a couple of days, and like that's my bad. Obviously, like it is what it is. It's life. The month of March was just horrible.
yeah,
It was so busy, literally every single weekend. Hence the reason why this is a prolonged episode that should have been out already.
yep,
But from what I've seen of it, like I'm intrigued to see how far it goes. You know what I mean? Like I heard the whole Green Lantern Martian Manhunter parts and stuff like that in the game was like phenomenal.
yeah. They did a
You know what
good
I mean?
job
I,
with that.
I got I got to see the Joker for a little bit. You know what I mean? And like it was like the cutscenes and like the humor, like it all around was really like fun. But I'm gonna be honest. I am not the biggest fan of the Lego universe. Like it's
Yeah,
fun to watch it for like the first time,
yeah,
but I tried to rewatch like the Lego movie, and I'm like, this is corny as shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's fun the first time because you don't expect it. Like Lego Batman, the first movie was awesome,
yeah.
but you know what I mean? It's like diving back into it. It's like I don't know, like if that universe really is for me. I
Okay.
just like the DC universe, and I would like to continue playing the game, you know what I mean, and finish it one of
Yeah.
these days. They said collectively it takes about 10 hours to finish the game, so
If
that's not
you
bad.
if you go into platinum, it'll take a little longer, but to just go through the story mode, it's easy. It's not that long.
But shouts out to Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy for detracting me from my challenge. But
Yeah.
you had
Dead Rising.
what I would say is a fun challenge, because like you can't go wrong with a Dead Rising game.
That game is very dated.
Oh, I believe it, bro. That was
Yeah.
like Xbox 360. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
Like
he moved like a lawnmower. Like he was so slow.
animatronic and stuff like that.
But I remember. I'm surprised how much I remember of the game. Like so, going through it, I kind of remember what I did to platinum it the first time. So I kind of just did the same
It's a
thing.
free fall game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
So
balls to the wall. You got to survive. It's
so um so one thing that I took advantage of, because again it's on my gameplay already, is the fact that I already had the Mega Man suit ready to go, like because I finished the game a long time ago. So I had that. So basically, I used the Mega Buster for most of the game and just went through it and went through it pretty fast. It's a
I
fun
mean,
game.
there's no rhyme or reason with these. It's
Yeah,
experience the game.
yeah. It was good. It was a fun game. I wish I had more structure into how everything was done. They, if you did not know what you had to do, then you'd be kind of lost in the game, and that's something that I didn't like about the first one. Like you kind of got shit thrown at you, and it didn't like they didn't really give you anything to go with. So that was my only issue with the game, is the fact that like again you kind of had to remember what's going on. If not, I we looked it up and I was like, oh, what's this and what's that. But other than that, it was a fun game. It was they did this thing. Like I actually liked Dead Rising the first one. I liked the second one as well. The third one I didn't care for because it was just a repeat of the second one. So that's the reason why I just lost interest in it. But it was fun. It was just like whooping zombies' asses in a mall and like finding every kind of weapon to just beat the shit out of the zombie with.
I mean, that's just what it would be like. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like shit hit the fucking fan,
yeah,
you just gotta go. You know
yeah.
what I
I
mean?
yeah, but I finished it. So that's another
You
challenge
finish it in like
completed.
a day. It's another notch in the
Nah,
belt.
it took a couple of days because it's kind of long. It's kind of long winded. It like you can finish it in a day if you just stay on it, but like I didn't get to stay on it that much. But I was able to finish it. But yeah, the Mega Man Buster. Like if you have that already unlocked, just use that shit. You can knock out half the
Yeah,
game with that. All right.
I believe it. I believe it.
Our topic is this week is the Power Rangers video games. So as in y'all know, we have the Morphin Cast, so a lot of the things that we love is Power Rangers. We collect the figures, they take all our money. It's a lot of things with
That's just
that.
one of many things that takes my money.
Between
Trust me.
Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, I don't know which one takes more. But
Power Ranger, Ninja Turtles, the Dan McFarlane lines
yeah.
of certain things here and there, and comic books, and oh my lord,
Yeah.
where we at in the comic world with Power Rangers? Is Go-Go still going?
Go-Go is canceled. So all right, so I'll explain this really fast so it won't confuse
Yeah,
many.
well, we can also further extend it on the Morphin Cast.
Yes,
I
we're
just was
going to.
wondering why we
Yeah,
were
we're
going.
going into more into it in the Morphicast because we've been going through the comics. The next one we'll probably do is volume 3, 4, and 5, just to knock out some of them. So while Mighty Morphin Power Rangers started with Boom Studios, by like volume 5 or 6, Go-Go started. So once you got introduced to the first Red Ranger, which I was telling you about, that there was a female Red Ranger, she meets up with the Power Rangers and tells them like, yeah, I was Zordon's first Red Ranger in Earth and shit like that. So they brought in the whole thing. They had a whole team. She was red. There was two dudes as pink and black. So it was a different team and everything. Um, so Go-Go started from there. So Go-Go was like more. So when Go-Go Power Rangers started, it was more the antics inside the school and shit like that. It was more their personal lives and shit like that. And then Mighty Morphin was more their Power Ranger lives and shit like that. But then they started tying in Shattered Grid. When Shattered Grid started, they started tying in the comics and stuff like that. I think the first appearance of the Ranger Slayer was in Go-Go. So there it goes like that. As in, we go further on, Go-Go stopped, Mighty Morphin stopped, and then it became two comic books. It became Mighty Morphin, and then became Power Rangers. There was two comic books, and that's what led up to. And that's the easy way to explain it.
All right, well, I'm pretty sure we will dive into that
Yeah,
further on the.
it's a lot.
But now let's get into the topic at hand.
Power Ranger games, yeah. So our
Yes.
first game that we got from Power Rangers. So Sentai actually had a game for NES back in the day. That was probably like the first Sentai game was on the NES. Well, Super Famicom. That's what it was called during the time, and it was based on Jetman.
Okay.
But
That actually, I would actually want to play that,
yeah,
but
it never
I just
made
know
America.
Nintendo. I just know Nintendo sucks
Yeah,
because their games are so damn hard.
yes they are, and that was one of them. It was hard. So we kick off with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We had a SNES, a Sega Genesis version. It also came out Game Gear, Sega CD, and all those games. That one was two different games. So SNES, we got the original Power Ranger game, which was actually pretty solid. That was like the side-scrolling beat 'em up. That
I mean, that was also on Nintendo as well, regular Nintendo. I have it.
uh, no, it did not make it to NES.
I'm,
NES
I'm
was
pretty sure.
no, they didn't make
I'm
that
pretty.
one. Didn't make it to NES.
I'm fact checking that.
It was a Game Boy. It was Super NES, which was the one that was like a beat 'em up side scroller. Then it was the Sega Genesis
Yeah, no,
one.
my bad. It was for Sega. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one I'm talking about. Yeah,
It was
Sega.
for Sega Genesis, which was more of a fighting game than an actual like action beat 'em up. Then we had the Game Gear one, which was also a beat 'em up, but was a more of a fighter, but it actually had more story than the Sega Genesis one. And then the Game Boy I never played. Sega CD was pretty much an enhanced version of the Sega Genesis one.
Yeah, I played the Game Boy one, I think,
Yeah,
or I'm pretty sure that I played it at one point in time. I just remember it being really small and pixelated, looked like that Super Mario Land.
yeah,
You know what I mean? A typical Game Boy game. You
yeah,
know, but like out of the early ones, now the movie they had the movie one.
yeah. It goes to
Uh,
that one
that
next.
yeah, that's the one with the White Ranger on the cover.
Yeah, yeah,
But the original one, the first one for Sega Genesis, I remember that I was in the hospital for a month, and I'm not a month. I was in the hospital for a week, but like the second I got out of the hospital, I popped on the game, and I think I beat it in like 19 minutes.
yeah. It was a extremely short game. It was a It
I
was
mean,
in a fighting game kind of style.
yeah, you literally have to go through it and get through a couple levels, beat up a monster, then you have to beat up Goldar in the Megazord.
Yep.
Then you have to fight the Green Ranger. Then you have to fight the Dragon Zord, and then you are the Dragon Zord, and you have to fight another monster, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yep.
There's no story to it. There's nothing. It was very Hyperstone Heights side scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I beat it in like 19 minutes, and I played as the Black Ranger. I played as Zack, and I remember when I got out of the hospital and I beat the game, I like, DM'd him.
Yeah.
Bastard never responded back. You know what I mean? Like, I just got out of the hospital, man, and I played as you, and it just won.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I remember the SNES one being a big thing. That was the first one that was actually two players, and you actually played through the teenagers, and then you morph through the stages and stuff like that. Then the last couple stages are you're in the Megazord, and the last two bosses are within the Megazord and stuff like that. That was the one I remember better. It was a longer game and it was a lot more fun. So the SNES one was the one to go with.
Yeah.
Um, 95, we got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie game, which I actually think the Sega Genesis one was better than the SNES one.
Yeah, and I have the SNES one, and that shit is hard as fuck.
Yes, it
It is
is.
so hard. I never beat it. Never even came close to beating it. And I
Yeah,
was like, you got the Ivan Ooze things flying, jumping around, and then you got the birds and
yeah,
stuff. And it's like it's a very interesting game, and I
yeah,
think it's actually probably ranked as one of the best early games
yeah,
of Power Rangers.
yeah. I agree.
I
I,
think
I actually
I
prefer the
think there
Sega
was a
Genesis one over
fighter
Super
game too.
Nintendo.
I think there was a fighter game as well, like a tournament
Yes, so
fighter.
that was the next one that came out. It was Mighty Morphin the Fighting Edition. I actually have that for Super NES, and you just fought as the Megazords.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
This was made by a company called Natsumi, and it was under Bandai.
All right. Well, obviously Saban had to have consent and all that, but Bandai, I guess, had the contracts for everything. Right?
Yeah. So we had one, two, three, four. We had four games in total for Super NES. We had two games in total for Sega Genesis. So Super NES also had Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers, which was like a
You
racing
know,
game with the Zeo Rangers.
and then they also had one for. I know I'm jumping ahead, but didn't they have one for Lightspeed Rescue as well?
Yes.
That was sort of like that when you're racing around like a fucking train and shit.
Yes.
I honestly, be honest, I have no interest in ever playing those games.
Um.
I watched like a documentary. It was on YouTube or something like that of all the Power Ranger games, and they were like, "Yo, these are like the shittiest games ever.
Yeah.
Like you don't ever want to play it."
So the Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers. If you played the Biker Mice Mars from game, Biker Mice Mars, it came out like maybe a year or two before this. It played just like that game. So it was like a top-down racing game. So you played like Pro Amp for Nintendo. Like it was a top-down racing game. It played like that, but you're on a scooter, motorcycle. Like the cover had the Gold Ranger on a motorcycle and shit. Um, we go to 1996, and this company called Kaz made Power Ranger Zero, Zeo, the Full Tilt Battle Pinball game. It was on PlayStation.
Okay.
I never played it.
I do recall them actually having a real pinball Power
Yeah,
Rangers
they
back
have.
in the day.
Yeah. Next game is Power Rangers Zeo versus the Machine Empire. This was actually on Microsoft Windows, Macintosh, Bandai, Pippin. So basically, this one was a online game, like a computer game. I never played it. I have never seen it, so I'm not sure what's more what's about it. After that, we got Power Ranger Rescue Rescue. I think a lot of these games I did not play. I probably owned them though because I bought them for really cheap on like Comic Con or something like that. So we have Power Ranger Lightspeed Rescue, which was the companies that did it was Game Boy. It was on Game Boy, Macintosh, N64, PlayStation, and Microsoft. So the N64 one was a piece of shit, 100%. It was really bad, really bad. It's as bad as Superman 64. That's how
That
bad.
bad?
Yeah, well,
That-
it's a shitty game.
I'm
PlayStation
pretty
wasn't even
sure
better.
that Superman game is pretty good. It goes down as epic failure. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
2001, we also got Power Rangers Time Force, and we got that for Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation, and Microsoft Windows. I never played the PlayStation version, but I've seen it. It also the gameplay was pretty trash. All these are made by THQ, which owned the Bandai rights. So most of the games that Bandai owned, they made their games. So like Dragon Ball Z and all that shit. Um, yeah, Time Force. I remember playing I have the Game Boy Advance one. The Game Boy Advance one. It was not that bad, but the PlayStation one was fucking terrible.
I didn't even know that they made even games for Time Force or Wild Force or Ninja Storm.
Yeah,
I would like I would play these games
yeah.
because they are some of the best series that we've watched.
I do have
You know what I mean?
I do have the Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, and I had the Dino Thunder all for Game Boy Advance. I also played the PlayStation 2 one. It was a okay game. It got really repetitive. That's going into 2005. SPD, that was just a Game Boy Advance game. If you played the Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder, it played the exact same way. It didn't really evolve anything like that. A lot of this conversation is a lot of bad games, and then it got to a decent game, and then to a better game. So I'm just gonna run these down, and then I highly doubt you played any of these anyway. So Power Rangers Super Legends, that was an interesting one. So Power Rangers Super Legends was on NES, PS2, and this was the first one that had multiple different Rangers in it. Like you could be the Red Ranger, you could be like Ninja Storm, you could be Dino Thunder, you could be a bunch of different Rangers, and they all had different abilities and stuff like that. That was actually a pretty decent game. It wasn't a great game, but it was a decent game. You got a
Okay.
bunch of Power Rangers Samurai. They all came out on the Wii and Nintendo DS. Yeah, Power Rangers Samurai on 360. You also had an NES Mega Force and Super Mega Force on the 3DS, which they all were terrible games. Yeah, Power Ranger Dash, Power Ranger United, Power Ranger Dino Charger, Rumble. They all another bunch of pretty trash. Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Mega Battle. That was on the PS4. Um, that one was a interesting game. That one was kind of a side scroller. It came out with so it came out. It was kind of had like an animated cartoon. If you actually look at our Power podcast cover, is also off that game. There was all cartoons. Had all six Rangers in it, and it was a beat 'em up that you kind of side scroll and stuff like that. It kind of went through the first the first like 5 episodes of Power Rangers. All monsters you fight within the 5 episodes, and it was a decent beat 'em up, but it had its problems as well. But it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm
Then
looking at the list right now. I think the only game that I played in the 2010s was that Legacy Wars
yeah,
on
which is gonna be the
iOS.
next one. Yeah. So after that one, so the Mega Battle wasn't bad a game. I definitely say it's a decent playthrough of Power Ranger stuff, and it kind of goes to the cartoon series and stuff like that. You fight the putties, you fight the monsters, you control the Zords eventually, and things like that. It was actually pretty cool. And you probably could get it for like $3.99 now. The next
Yeah,
big
you know how much
one.
money? You know how much money I fucking spent in that damn game.
So the next
I
big
spent
one.
so much. I spent so much money in that game, and I tried signing back in, and like I lost everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know my username and password. And it's like I had such a good lineup, man. I was doing really good. I was obsessed with that game. I
Yeah.
probably sunk in at least $100 in that fucking. I really have.
So the next ones were Power Rangers Legacy Wars, which we were talking about. I think it hit its first is 8 year anniversary and stuff like that. They did a bunch of special things. I think once you stopped kind of playing, I kind of stopped playing, and you went back to it. I think remember, and then it was a fun game while it lasted. But then when it started asking me for money to upgrade my characters, I kind of like pushed away from it.
Yeah. It's like it was so hard. Like you had to pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in order to continue.
The next one is Power Rangers All Stars, which was kind of a RPG ish, but you could combine the different Power Ranger episode seasons together and to make a one like a strong team. The game didn't last that long though, and I think it shut its doors within the last 2 years. One of my favorite ones, and this is the last one of the last ones that came out, was Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. This was a fighting
I know
game.
you love this game.
This was
I
on
beat you a couple
PS4.
times.
Yeah,
I beat you a couple times.
this is on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Stadia. This came out on every console. This is one of those fighting games that got better throughout the time it was out. Like they improved the gameplay, they improved the fight mechanics and things like that. It's an amazing game, and I'm looking forward to them doing a sequel, which they announced they are working on a sequel. Um, the fight system is pretty dope. If you played Dragon Ball Z Fighters, it's very similar to that, just a bit slower. It has some really cool Rangers. Shout outs to the Max. I busted his ass a couple times in the Smash game as well. But it's pretty cool fighting game.
Shouts out to the Max, man. I just saw him the other day. It's my
Yeah,
man.
but it was a lot of cool stuff in that game. Probably one of my favorites. And the last one is Power Rangers Morphin Legends. Nenman Games is doing it as well. It's an ISO Android. This is also more RPG-ish and RPG than a fighting game. It kind of goes into the squads and you beat the squad and things like that. So it's kind of the same thing as Power Rangers All Stars, just better graphics and stuff like that.
I got
So
all those games, Battles for the Grid. They have it on they have it on the Switch. I was thinking about picking it up. It's like $19 right now.
yeah,
Like,
you get everything with it too. You get all the characters and stuff. It's a good
I've
game.
only played it at your house. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I can't really speak too much on it. I just know that you're a cheater,
I'm a cheater.
and
Bust
yeah, you cheat, bro. You're a fucking cheater.
your
I stand by my skills at button pushing. You know what I mean? Because I'm an epic button pusher. So
Yeah. So that's the history of Power Ranger games. Any ones that kind of stand up to you that you want to talk about a little bit more before we go to the next thing?
I mean, it's I've only played a handful of them. You know,
Yeah.
Battle of the Grid, like it was fun. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I'd never touched into the storyline of it, meaning you just fought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know how extensive the storyline is, but I would like to one of these days get into that. The legacy wars, like I was saying before, I literally sunk so much money in, and like I despise that game now because it totally like I rocked out for like a year or two, and I was playing with my niece, and then all of a sudden it's like screw you, your account's gone, and like so basically I felt robbed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The other ones that I would like to tap into one of these days are, the ones that are based off of our favorite series. Which everybody go and check out the Morphin Cast. We have extensive
Yes.
episodes on every single Americanized one up to Beast Morphers, which we haven't touched in on Beast Morphers yet, but like Time Force, SPD, Ninja Storm, like these are quintessential seasons, some of the best seasons that
Yeah.
America put out. You know what I mean? That gave the Sentai a run for its money. So like those, like I would like to dive into that one
Yeah.
of these days. You know what I mean? And on my own time, or it could be a challenge of some sort at some point in time. But yeah, I mean that's besides the the earlier days. You know what I mean? Like the original Power Rangers game and that's all really what my knowledge is of.
Yeah.
You know, I can't front like I know everything. So
Yeah. The Battle for the Grid is probably one of my favorites. The story mode goes into kind of the Battle of the Grid because you fight Lord Draken as one of the main bosses. You fight the Ranger Slayer. That kind of goes into that storyline. So basically, when you play it, kind of goes into the Battle of the Grid kind of storyline. It's really good. It's really they do take it from the comic Boom Studios, do the artwork for the game and stuff like that. So they did take a lot from the comic book itself. Um, they also try to get a lot of the voice actors back too, just to make their shit. Like Tommy Oliver did his White Ranger, the Lord Draken. He did Green Ranger as well. So you got a lot of them back for that. That was probably my highlight. I still play it from time to time. I'll just throw it on to do a couple rounds and things like that. It's one of those fighting games I tend to go back to a lot. Um, I'll say the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is because I have the most memory with that one. I remember fucking when it first came out, renting it in Blockbuster because my mom didn't want to buy it, so I had to get it rented. And I beat that game within the time period I had, and then I lined up renting it 3 more times just to play with my friends and shit like that. It was such a fun game. I remember the movie one being really hard, but I remember having actually getting the Sega Genesis one for my birthday, and I love that game. I still actually have my original copy of that.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Um.
I know I have the Sega Genesis one,
No,
and I
you did.
have the
You
Super
did. You
Nintendo.
do.
I know for a fact I
Yeah.
have it.
Because I didn't. I
I
don't have
think I
mines
have
in
the
my
movie.
house. There's a chance I have it. If you don't have it, it was you.
I have to go inside my room over here
Yeah.
that I haven't set up yet, but I soon will, hopefully.
Yeah. But
Cost money.
yeah, that's the history of Power Ranger games. We kind of just want to give a rundown and see what we played, what we didn't. There's a lot we did not play. So
You know what game? What game I would love? Maybe they did like uh sh- uh what you call it Shattered Grid
yeah.
game.
Well,
I think that would be a pretty dope concept.
Battle for the Grid kind of does the storyline,
Okay. Well,
but I would like it like in a beat up up kind of style that you get to choose your ranger and shit and go through it. That would kind of do.
I that and Legend of the Dragon or
Yeah.
whatever. But I highly doubt they're gonna do anything with Jason David Franco.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna do that. It's touchy subject
You
right
know what I
now.
mean? Yeah, it's still fresh. The wound is
Yes.
still there. So R.I.P. to Jason David Frank.
All right. So that is the Power Ranger games. So next we let you go is the games that pay the way. I'll let you go first with your game.
So mine is actually, and I was thinking about this because I was watching the show last night at work and I was killing it. I was killing it. But I have fond memories of putting in like 8 batteries in the back of the Wheel of Fortune handheld game.
Yeah.
And bro, I don't understand why I was so obsessed with that game when I was a kid. But it was so much fun. I never owned one myself, but every time I went to somebody's house that had it, I wouldn't even hang out with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would sit there and play the Wheel of Fortune game. I know it's not no crazy game that literally goes in the record books of being like the best games ever, but to me, that handheld Wheel of Fortune game, I just spent so much time on that and like the Yahtzee game. But I had to
Yeah.
toss it up between the Yahtzee or that one because I wanted to do a handheld. You know what I mean? I was thinking about it for a while. Like, the quintessential handheld games, like those were like our video games when you weren't home. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like you were on the go. It burnt through so many batteries. You know what I mean? It's just a classic, old school '90s nostalgic. Like if I came across that at like a thrift store or like a Game On or something, I would instantly buy it.
Okay.
Instantly buy it. I don't know how many different chips that they had that you could put in it. I know that you had one or two because eventually you would just run out, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I had to pick that, but I just had to pick that.
Hey, that's
It's
fine.
one of my games that paved the way. You know what I
Wheel
mean?
of Fortune.
Wheel of
Okay.
Fortune, but the handheld Wheel of Fortune because we
There's a
also
lot
had
of
the
good ones
NES.
too. I remember playing the NES one many times. I played with my sister and my cousin and shit. So I remembered a lot of those games I used to
But it's
play.
the specific handheld one that is nothing but Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's it. Like I don't know if you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, I know what you're
but
talking about. I played it before.
it's awesome.
Okay. Um,
What is yours?
well, I'm gonna go to mine. Hmm. So I've been playing this game called Sackboy on PS5 because it was free on the PlayStation Premium, and I kind of want to highlight that game because the for the creativity of what you had to do for the game, and so my next one will be Little Big Planet. So
Never even heard of it.
Little Big Planet was made by PlayStation, and it the main character is this little sack boy. He pretty much looks like a little sack, but you could dress him up. Like he has like you have costumes of all the games for PlayStation and a bunch of things you unlock. But this is a game that just made you create. So you could create the stages, you could create the boards. You have people download like people actually made like the BioShock. They'll do the first stage and actually make the full first stage of this with this game. They made Mario Brothers within this game. I remember going into the fan for the people that create games, and they made a Beverly Hills Cop that you just driving on the red car, and you hear the dun 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 dun, dun, dun and you just with that sack boy dressed as Foley, and driving the car, and then you see Eddie Murphy's big face at the end, and that's how you finish the stage. It's like it involved a lot of silly things, and it was just brought your creativity into what you can make with the game. And they gave you a lot of options to it. So basically, I give this one because this is before Minecraft. You kind of had this to play with, and I will give this one credit. So Little Big Planet will be my game step here the way.
Little Big Planet. What console was it on?
PlayStation. PlayStation
It was
3, I
on-
think it first came out on.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little.
I,
Yeah.
I, I I think I recall the cover of it,
Yeah.
but I don't at the same time. I think actually, no, never mind. What I'm thinking in my head is Destroy All Humans,
Oh, okay. That's the alien.
which was a fun game too. So
Yeah. This one involved you creating like stages and boards and actually like you could actually play your friends' stages and things like that. You could create your own, and there was a lot of creativity into this game that actually kind of made you use the advantage of the PS3 or the PS4 at the time when it came out. Whichever game. There's like four parts, so whichever game you're playing. This one, Sackboy, I'm playing on PS5. It kind of evolves a lot of the PlayStation control features and makes you actually utilize the PlayStation 5 features into this game. And it actually is a very pretty game. Very like it looks really cute and funny and stuff like that. But it's actually very complex and actually does a lot of good things with the controller that makes you learn how to use the PlayStation properly. It's crazy. It shows you how to use the PlayStation 5.
well, that's smart. That's a smart thing, and it just
Yeah.
dropped my phone.
So that's mine. And then we can go into the challenge.
The challenge.
Um, I don't have like I have to like I actually really did not look into the challenge book yet. So I had to think of what you have and then go from there.
I was literally just looking up that um as uh as I dropped my phone.
But I got a game to play and see if you can get it. All right.
I
Let's
have two games in mind that I think you'll enjoy.
yeah. Switch.
So,
So
but I don't know if you can get your hands on them or not.
yeah, I'm trying to see what I could give you that will be seizable because sometimes it's not seizable. All right. I kind of want to annoy you, so I'm gonna give you this game just to annoy you. Yoshi's Story for the N64.
Oh God, fuck that fucking game. I've played it. I've beat it before when I was a kid. So I mean, that it might be fun to go rehatch it, but Yoshi's Story is basically, I mean, the second Super Mario World is basically Yoshi's Story,
That's
but
Yoshi
that's
Island.
Yoshi's Story. What's up?
That's Yoshi Island.
Yoshi Island. Yeah.
Yoshi's Story is the one on N64, so it's mainly just Yoshi. They don't have the Baby Mario in it.
So they got that on the Switch.
Yeah, that's why I picked it.
Okay.
It's on the N64 thing on the Switch.
Oh, fucking Yoshi. Fucking despise Yoshi. I don't see the appeal in Yoshi. I never did. It's like Kirby. Who the fuck likes Kirby?
I love
You know what I
Kirby.
mean? Like,
Kirby's awesome.
Kirby's trash. Kirby's trash.
Kirby will eat
That's
you
just my opinion, of course.
and get
You
your
know what I
hair
mean? I just
and get your hairdo. I like Kirby. I always like this.
what was
game.
the other one?
No, that was it. Yoshi, your story. That's the game you're gonna play.
That is the game I'm going to play. I don't even have a choice by it, ladies and gentlemen.
If you want that, you know what? You said you didn't like Kirby, so I'll give you a Kirby game if you want to play. Super
I'd
Kirby.
rather play. I'd rather play Yoshi Story than fucking Kirby. To be honest with you.
Kirby's actually.
I mean, fucking, I'll do it.
Kirby's pretty fun.
I'll do
it's
it.
short.
I haven't turned my Switch on for a little bit. The last game I was playing was 007.
All right.
So
yeah, Yoshi Story, N64.
okay, so I have an idea in my head. I want you to play a shooter game,
Shooter. Okay.
and you probably played and beat both of them, but it's fun. Like I was gonna say, Rainbow Six,
Rainbow Six.
Vegas Nights.
Vegas. I actually
Vegas
have that
Nights.
on the 360.
You know what I mean? Vegas Nights. You know, I know you beat it. We all beat that game. The game's awesome. Just go back, have some fun. You know what I mean? Show what's a good, you know, probably somewhat dated game, but it was just, I just remember it just being fun as fuck.
It was.
You know
good
what I mean?
game.
And then the other game was actually an Xbox 360 game as well,
Okay.
and I also beat it. And it's Medal of Honor European Assault.
Okay.
They're both reasonable times, like playing wise. But keep in mind, like back in the Xbox 360 games, they're not playing 20-hour, 30-hour games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they
This
want
one
you to
had-
play and go.
This is when they had the stories of per soldier and shit.
And then I also just thought of something in my head. I don't know why I thought of it, but Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam and Earl? I have finished Toe Jam
Yeah.
and Earl. It's an annoying game, but it's finishable.
The original one for Sega.
Yeah, I've beaten it when they first put the Sega Genesis thing on it. It's an annoying fucking game, but it's possible to finish. I'll pick Rainbow Six. I haven't played that in a while.
I knew you would, and I feel like I'm not trying to stump you. I just want you to have some fun. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's a fun game. I
not-
actually will play
I
it.
know you wanted to annoy me with fucking Yoshi Story because you know how I feel about that shit. So
Yeah, I 100% wanted to annoy you.
I believe it. It's like that's what you get for not finishing Batman Lego 3.
Yeah, I gave you a good game. No,
Well,
I'm
Lego
gonna give you
Batman
more
3 is
game.
fun. I just
Yeah.
didn't. Yo, Hogwarts came out, man. My main focus ended up turning into that. Like
Yeah.
it really has. And I'm in there for hours, and I'm still nowhere.
Yeah, that game does it. Like it's a lot of stuff. Same thing with the Lego Batman. Like there's a lot of shit in that game. It's very like a lot of shit. Especially if you
Yeah.
want to platinum it. If you want to platinum it, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Oh man.
So
Yeah,
Alright.
no, it's
challenges accepted. Let's shake it out.
challenge accepted.
So I got Rainbow Six Vegas, and you got Yoshi Story. Let me write it down so we have it on here. The challenge. Yoshi Story. And Rainbow Six Vegas.
I want you to have some fun. You know what I mean? Rainbow Six it was just awesome. I have very fond late night moments, like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, realizing it's 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Like, damn, I
Yeah.
gotta go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, that is the challenge. Challenge accepted. All
Yes,
right.
challenge.
Yeah, we wrap this up. This is the Gamer Reach podcast. We short, simple, and sweet. Um, Follow us on all social medias. You follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Twitch. All Merc with the Mic. Also follow TikTok, Merc with the Mic. I do a lot of figure photography, beer, and all that stuff. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. Follow
Real
Red Cycle.
adult kid stuff.
Yes. Follow Red Cycle Link on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, and WordPress. And YouTube. He just put videos out of Resident Evil 4. The current, the remastered one looks freaking phenomenal. So definitely check out Mike's playthrough of Resident Evil 4. And follow Tenacious D.
Yes, you can follow me. I'm kind of steering away from mentioning even Twitter because Twitter, like, they're talking about charging you now on Twitter, like $8 or something like that.
Yeah, for like to be God, what it's called, to be
I
like
don't know
a
that.
affiliated or something like that.
Nobody needs to follow me on Twitter, so
Yeah.
don't follow me on Twitter. Plus, nobody has followed me on Twitter anyway, so I don't see the point in it. But you can always follow me at the Real Tatsuka Wap on Instagram. That's my own personal page. You can also follow the Popcorning 1975 Instagram page, the Debate the Greats Instagram page, which I just started getting back avid with that. That's a music debate page where we bring two artists, two guitarists, two bands together, and we have a conversation. Who do we prefer? Not to discredit, but to just bring up a conversation. You can also follow the Popcorning 1975 TikTok page, which the COC, aka the Cook, is starting to go underway with that, showing all the player cards that I spent hours making. Go and check that out. Also,
That's important.
so go and also check out my co-host for Popcorny Podcast Instagram page. What's Tyler's
Tyler,
I'm
let's
trying
see
to,
right
what's,
now.
his TikTok is Tyler Tyler
Yes.
dot LOSEE. Follow him out on TikTok. He's killing it right now. If you're a big anime fan, go and check that out.
Yes.
Also go and check out the Popcorny Podcast streaming out on Spotify and SoundCloud. It's we do live casts on TikTok itself under Tyler's page, soon to be on YouTube, which will be Popcorny 1975 or Popcorny Entertainment. I forget exactly which one it was, but go and check out all that. Go like, share, follow, comment, join in on the conversations. We're gonna need people to cast votes pretty soon because Jackie Chan is not winning this damn thing.
He's winning everything.
Okay, he's not winning shit.
Jackie
Okay, he's
Chan
not
is the
winning.
man. Jackie Chan
He's a street
is
character. He
God.
can't win a cosmic. So
He could beat every
that's
cosmic character. He's just humble.
he could, but you labeled him as a street character, so you can only do
Exactly.
that.
He's gonna wreck
So
everybody. He's gonna
he ain't
beat
wrecking shit.
y'all like
Stone
a
Cold Steve
stepchild.
Austin will beat the fuck out of him.
He's gonna beat
Stone
y'all
Cold
like
Steve
a
Austin will beat the crap out of him.
redheaded stepchild. Anyway,
Jackie
all right.
Chan's not winning.
He's winning.
But always a shout out to Game On, retro video game store based on Long Island at 3 separate locations, one in Smithtown, one in Patchogue, one in Miller Place, satisfying all your retro video game needs. Retro video game needs. Also check out the Game On Retro Video Game Arcade located in Lake Grove, Smith Haven Mall. $20 for adults, $10 for kids. Play all you want. Get a wristband. Go in the mall. Go eat. Go shopping. Go to FYE. Go to Think Geek. Go to all these places. Go and check out that. Shouts out to Tristan. Also, shouts out to Prestige Comics at Retro Relics and also Time Warp, which loves to take my money. And if anybody lives in the Long Island area, do not look at that wing list that they put out recently. We will share it on the Red Cyclone Inc. page. It's bullshit. We are going to go do our own wing tour and document it. We're not trying to be no David Portnoy or nothing like that. He does pizza. We're going to do wings. That's soon to be coming. That's in the works. Everybody be safe, and you know where to holler at me.
All right. Last but not least, seeing that the topic was Power Rangers, check out Boom Studios. They actually have a Kickstarter campaign going for the deluxe hardcovers, spanning all the Power Ranger comics into 3 big books. If you're in it before the end of May, you could get a lot of good stuff with it within the 3 books. So definitely check it out. I was on Boom Studios Facebook page. Peace out,
Follow our
laters.
other kids.
Follow all our other casts, the Morphin Cast, the Shell Shock, the Not a Trekkie, and the Gamer Rage podcast. Follow also our weekly It Gets Better I Swear and the Wrestling Babble. We had a WrestleMania review. We had a WrestleMania predictions. I actually won the predictions. I actually got 10 and the rest got like 7, so I did. Peace out, laters, and always remember, follow the Jinkies and fuck Zordon.
Always fuck Zordon, especially now since we did a Power Ranger cast
Yeah.
in Rage.
Yes.
Fuck Zordon.
Fuck Zordon.